បាទសូមជម្រាបសួរ Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, honorable guest speakers, and national and international participants. So today is the last day of the conference, the 23rd of December, 2020. Even though the conference almost comes to the end, but what is not the end is professional development. Personally, I hope that knowledge and experience shared by scholars and speakers in the conference would be the capital of education that mentors and educator will apply in their classroom or their mentoring. That is important that teachers and mentor will grab what they have learned from 2 days ago and today to use in the classroom or help to improve mentoring in Cambodia. Even though mentoring is the first position, I think that yeah, they will be applied in Cambodia and GPRC New Generation Pedagogical Center have have conducted or have produced like young leaders like mentors in Cambodia for helping reforming education sector in Cambodia. So participants and your excellencies and scholars and guest speakers in this time. So our session will be a roundtable discussion on mentoring in STEM. So this in this discussion, we will have co-chairs such as Professor Kim Yun-soo from Korea and Dr. Professor Janrat from Cambodia. So they both will be our co-chairs in the discussion. So in the discussion, we will have our panelists. That are scholars and guest speakers from Cambodia and around the world for joining in discussion. So our panelists are Professor Jean-Francois from Canada, Dr. Jerio Japos from Philippines, and Professor Do Dinlam from Thailand, Dr. David from Finland, and Dr. Catherine Palmer from the USA, and Mr. Stanislas from France. So right now, please join me in welcoming co-chairs and panelists to join roundtable discussion on mentoring in STEM. So I would like to give the floor to the co-chairs and panelists for our roundtable discussion. Okay, please welcome. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Samchand. Good afternoon, all our colleagues. Nice to meet you. Okay, today I wanted to some kind of to the more developing our conference. We will is to the more closing the day. How was to the we have to our next plan and then to the next time how was it developing like this. Uh, I wanted to very high experience from other countries, and then we have received. So uh, next step is to the how to be continuing international conference. So like this, in terms of to the policy, because of I have some introduced uh, Minister of Educations, they are planning to developing our STEM education and to the teachers, the mentoring program. Like this that I was to 4 years ago, I will be summarizing to explain briefly. So, and then to the we will is more deep discussion and then to the for developing. So like this to the we will co-sharing is to the Dr. Chan. So we will to the co-share introducing our conference purpose and then to the next step how was the implementing for developing that is to the STEM education and science teachers. Like this, we have the summarizing at this time. I will today we have the time is to the 1 hour 15 minutes. So we will do the higher education. The panel is the sixth panel, and then we have some guest question like this. I will divide it in the few minute. So and then we will more discussions like this. Okay, first of all, 2 days we have the just briefly reported poll. Today the conference we have done to the amazing to the many participations. So had around in the 260 expert group or teachers, and then the participation, and then the maybe from to the 50 or 70 the topics, the paralyzer. So participation. We have the panel rooms. We have discussing everybody wanted to smoothly speak and to the how was the came to joining to the nice presentation. So and then to the we have checkbox. We have received some summarizing like this during the presentation. And today we have to receiving that is the presentation. I was to the summarizing before to the I will preparing for developing that is to the project in Korea. So I can briefly to the explain. That is to the our topic. We have the first time is how was the developing in STEM education. Second time is to how was to implementing. That is to the STEM education or science teacher and existing teacher. And then third is to how was supporting international cooperation and other country supported the money, the budget, and then to the we will to be continuing. That is to implementing like this. I will divide. So let's go today many to the high education participation our to higher maybe I think that is the higher opinion we have our to the teachers or to pedagogy side or the mathematics, science and education. Like this, the many kind of the area we have to all kind of the world. Our to the colleague, we will to the co-sharing. That is to the topic, and then to support to Cambodia. So we will to be continuing. Will be contribute. That is to the STEM education part. Okay, I can showing to the summarizing that the time is reduced. I will the focus topic briefly, few minutes to explain, and then I will to asking give to the high opinion from to our other countries. Dr. Chan is coming or not yet? Okay, I can showing to please. I can showing to just a minute. I hearing show. Are you showing presentation?
Yes.
Okay. I was summarizing today we have to mentoring, the keyword the mentor STEM education mentoring, the Minister of to the Education, they have to the plan and policy STEM education 2016 already to improvement of education as a whole, taken strive to toward for the STEM education. That is the topic is four kind of case. The vision of a curriculum framework, the first. Second is the existing teacher and education training. Third is to the education establishing classroom experience and the facility installation. And fourth is in terms of pedagogy, the teacher mentoring. Like this, first they have a lady, it is the policy side. And then, so second is to the STEM education model, we will showing like this. Many STEM education curriculum or STEM education approach, many countries, they have done like this. We have to which part we have the joining was basic into the plan. That is the very key point. The basic cycle, integrated cycle, how was the connecting the cycle? Like this, we wanted to based on our plan, that is STEM education. And then third is how was to the enhancing capacity existing teacher and to increasing STEM curriculum of subject and to improve the STEM education equipment installing. Like this to the more developing, existing the teacher STEM education, how was available, local teacher recruitment and improvement process in the curriculum, installing the requirement, facility in the course room. So finally, we have to extend STEM teacher bring to the realistic the curriculum and basic training equipment in the security. That is a system we have to implementing like this to the summarizing. The STEM education, the process is being made for STEM education established and the sustainability in Cambodia. The first, education the based in the development. Second is to the implementing the performance. The third, development on evaluation and to be continued, sustained to the persistence. Like this, we was done already. I have during that is to the form, the plan, and then to the we will to be continuing any time. But at this time, is not yet to the that is installing the program. When I was to the in charge of to the in Cambodia and finished, but I can come back in Korea and now it's another country. I would like to, that is the point. So we will should be designed and then more concentrated first. Second is to them, we our to all kind of countries, many countries to our higher education to the opinion, supportive. So we will more developing like this, developing today or discussions like this, and then to we will more developing down the table. I was to receiving from to the co-sharing new idea, and then more development. I will be the scrutinized was to the submitted policy side. We will was making the budget and then push up all kind of to the Minister of Education, the plan, we will support it. Like this to the reminder, I will reduce the like this the time. I will more focus on today topics, focus on like this. We will co-sharing together. Okay, let's now the welcome to the today our higher guest. So I'd like to introduce participation, give the opportunity. So and today I will discussions to the you have the listening from to the other country, and then more to be continued. The first, Dr. Chan, you can introduce the participation your side you wanted in the Ministry of Education. So you have a few minutes to summarize, and then I will inviting on the subject of purpose. I will to be continued.
Thank you and welcome all participants on this afternoon roundtable discussion. And as Professor Kim Young-so presented that Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport have approved the STEM policy since 2016. And we organize the National STEM Exhibition every year since 2018 until 2019. And this year, COVID-19, we don't organize the STEM festival. And now, because of COVID-19, we need to change the method of teaching. And now Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport promote in distance learning and blended learning and so on, related to different approach to reach teacher and student, and different kind of rural area and big city, some challenging. And now we have this roundtable discussion, and this we have principle of new generation school, 10 generation school that the school as advanced.
Okay. Sound is to reporting. Sound is reporting.
To call for cooperation and implementation, because we are all so young and now experience or STEM education, and why we need to international cooperation and so on. And please come to connect with us, and we are welcome all kind proposal and project to cooperation for.
Okay. Dr. Chan, I will receive the system is not good. Okay, I will receive the to be continuing. Let's welcome who are going to talk to us today. We have the presenter. I will introduce our presenter, Professor Genera Jopas from Philippines, and to the Professor Maitri Impresia from Thailand, and Professor Totin Nam from Singapore, and Dr. David Benaman from Finland, Dr. Kathleen Parama from USA, and Mr. Stanisław Kowalski from France. Like this, the many other countries, we will to the participation. Welcome to participation. Thank you very much to us. We will join together. So today, I will today inviting the first. We have to the listening. We are going to the high opinion from how was to the topic. We have the reduced time. I will focus 3 questions because of the first time we are understanding that is to the Cambodia STEM education or mentoring the teacher, that is to real time. The first we are understanding. Second time is to the how was to develop, how was the design. It is STEM education to be continuing. Next step is based on to the STEM education curriculum, and then to they are teaching the teacher. So how was the mentoring program? The third is to how was the cooperative international. Each part of to the pedagogy side, or they have the department, the university, to be continuing and sustainable 3 or 5 year, 10 year, like this. To the summarizing, you have to summarize. I will give 10 minutes, and then to the you have the first time 10 minutes. I will give to 10 minutes, and then you can briefly to the explain with the asking, some more summarizing, and then the 5 minutes. So like this, we have two time is to the I will give to the presenter or to the opinion 12 minutes. So we will time is reduced, released. So like this. The first, I'd like to inviting Professor General. Are you there? Not here? Okay. So I will list to the another some Professor Matri Imparista. Are you there? No? Okay. So, and then Professor Tottenham from Singapore, are you there? Okay. Professor, you are the first. I will inviting to you are the first because of the time. Another guest is not until yet. Please. Okay.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Because I couldn't hear you very clearly, very soft. Something wrong with my connection. But if you can hear me, I'm okay.
Okay, maybe. Okay, are you okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, regarding, sorry, I just looked at the schedule. So this is the roundtable discussion on mentoring in STEM. Maybe, first of all, let me talk about this STEM in Singapore. I'm aware that in South Korea, in Thailand, and in fact in our neighboring countries around Singapore, there is such a thing as I think such a subject as a STEM subject. But in Singapore curriculum, if you were to look into our Singapore curriculum, there is no separate subject called STEM. Basically, the approach of Singapore is actually very different. As in, we don't really focus on STEM as develop a STEM as a subject, because the STEM as a subject, STEM, the word engineering, frighten many people off. So that's why in the Singapore approach to STEM is that what we do is for each of the curriculum, for each of the subjects in science, in mathematics, and in we try to infuse all the technology, and we try to see the interdisciplinary connection across the different subjects. I'm more familiar with mathematics. Perhaps I can just share with you. In our curriculum review for mathematics, what happened in the previous revision is that with this STEM in mind, the Ministry of Education is more conscious of actually incorporating a lot of the application of mathematics in the other field. For example, now for additional mathematics, a subject taken by most of the Singapore students, an emphasis on the application to science and technology is very, very common. Like for example, when we teach trigonometry, when we teach exponential function, how those things are related to the use in engineering, etc., in the use in physics, in chemistry. So when we talk about logarithm, we talk about the pH value, etc. We talk about the measure of the earthquake, which is a logarithmic scale. All these things are being infused, but we do not have a separate subject known as STEM. I believe the same thing actually happens in physics as well. But all the subjects in the school curriculum, there is an emphasis on technology. For example, in mathematics, we talk a lot about computational thinking now. Computational thinking, and we talk about coding. So this is the new direction that we are moving forward in each of the subject. There's transcending across the individual discipline itself. For now, our top thing in mathematics is how to introduce coding and computational thinking into this subject called mathematics. And of course, this new approach in Singapore, if you're talking about mentoring, we have a generic mentoring structure, as in all the teachers, all the new teachers, when they are in schools, we have a mentor scheme for them. That means teachers who are posted in schools have several tracks. They can choose the leadership track, they can choose the teaching track. And of course, there's a specialist track, which is on research, which I do not want to talk too much. So teachers who are put on teaching track, they have a career progression. Eventually, they move towards senior teacher, lead teacher, and master teacher. Master teacher is the pinnacle of the teaching career for those who are on the teaching track. And they provide, they are the mentors. They are the mentors for the more junior teachers in the subject itself. For example, in mathematics, we have the senior teachers, we have the lead teachers and master teachers who are the mentors to the teachers in the school. And these mentors are the people who actually are supposed to translate the new Ministry of Education's agenda into the grounds. For example, the new syllabus, what is the interpretation of this objective? And how should these things be translated? How should these things be translated into classroom practice? So all these mentors, they are involved in all this work linking, they are the bridge between the Ministry of Education and also the school practicing teachers, especially the junior teachers. So all the teachers who are posted to the Singapore schools, they are put across this mentor scheme. The mentors come from different level, can be just their reporting officer or somebody of the rank, or it can be up to the rank of these master teachers. Master teachers and lead teachers work across different schools. They are not bound by schools. So each of the master teacher could be a mentor of one whole group of teachers from a whole cluster of schools. So I guess for this team, this is the best thing that I can talk, because in the case of the Singapore, there's no subject called STEM, but of course we are very aware of STEM. In fact, if you look at our Minister of Education speech in the newspaper, they say that STEM education is very, very important for Singapore. But if you look through our curriculum, you cannot find a subject called STEM because it is infused in each of the different subjects. So this is the approach. So mentoring, yes, we have a generic structure in place. That's for mentoring or the teachers for all the subjects. Yes. I guess this is the best that I can share for this round. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Apologies if I can't hear you properly, and if later you have questions, I would really appreciate if you can actually type it, because I can't hear you very clearly. Apologies, my apologies.
Okay, so thank you very much to your opinion. Because of to the STEM education, the Singapore is I think that is very high because the STEM education, it is not to the basic. Is that your country interdisciplinary, the STEM education more developed side. And then to the teachers, they are connecting the network. So the government, they have the policy. You, if you have to the pronunciation, the government depend on to the national school or private school following. That is the program. Did you like? Okay. Okay. So next, Professor General, are you participation? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now, student, you have I will inviting to the Professor General Joseph. Who will is to the participations. This topic is the STEM education or teacher mentoring, STEM curriculum. Like this, we have to the three focus on the basics. The three focus on find the from recently the research area. You have to Philippines. How was the STEM education or and to the teacher mentoring like this, some summarizes you will give two opinions. Okay, please.
In the Philippines, we are a newcomer for K-12 because for so long a time, the Philippines was one of the few countries in the world which has 10 years of basic education. It was only in the last 5 years that we had 12 years of basic education. And what happened here was that when grades 11 and 12 were introduced to complete the 12 years of basic education, we had a problem with buildings, schools, and teachers. So the colleges and universities, because they don't have first-year students at the time, had empty classrooms that hosted, the participation of private and public universities for K11 and 12. So the university teachers who were teaching in basic education had to jump off because they would be losing their jobs because general education would no longer be offered in the university level because it will now be offered for K11 and 12. So they had to transfer to basic education in the senior high school. So we had plenty of problems when that got started, and mentoring was mostly on pedagogy because most of those who were teaching in STEM and other like humanities and other disciplines in the senior high were not actually graduates of teaching courses, but were actually practitioners and teachers in the university level. So the idea was to mentor them to teach for the pedagogy in basic education, because the pedagogy in higher education is quite different because of lots of autonomy. And so after 5 years, we were able to pull through, and I think we're happy with the way it is now, and we were able to cope. More buildings were established and more teachers were hired. In fact, we had one thing that was remarkable because during the the senior high transition, that was the only time in the history of the Philippines that we admitted teachers in basic education who did not have the license to teach. So there was a moratorium for license for 5 years. So those who were hired because they come from the university, because license is not required in the university, and from the public sector, were actually granted a reprieve for 5 years. Then within 5 years, they're going to take the board exam and then be certified and qualified. Meanwhile, they were given what we call as teacher induction, a certificate of teaching, yes, in basic education. So that was the difficulty of the transition. And I'm happy to note that in Southeast Asia, at least, we are now complete. All the 11 countries already have 12 years of basic education. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Your country, it is now to the elementary school, started to the basic, the STEM education started. Is it okay? Shall be the forwarding to the started 12 years. Elementary, the middle school and high school, full kind of to the school, you are studied in the STEM education. Is it right? Or to the,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Mm.
Okay, thank you.
It's quite different in my, there's one thing that I'd like to explain a little bit, that in the Philippines is unique because we have colleges and universities which offer complete courses, programs since kindergarten, nursery, kindergarten, and then preschool, elementary, junior high school, senior high school, and then university, and then master's, PhD law. All of these in one college or in one university. Because outside of the Philippines, universities do not offer basic education. They only offer tertiary.
Operating national or private? Operating the supporting to the Minister of Education, national has national school or private school, both sides.
But for public schools, the universities of the public school system no longer offer basic education this time.
Okay.
Only the private school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Okay, we have the one more after the guest. We have the listening after to the you have the few minutes commented. Okay, I'd like to next guest. Professor Maitris is coming. No, and then we have to Dr. David. Okay, I would like to call to the Dr. David, so he will is now join to the he know is to the very real time in Cambodia on situation. So and then to the now to the he will give to how was the design is more better. Please your opinion is to the design and then to the commented.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for having me as part of this panel. Firstly, I apologize if there is background noise. That's why I'm trying to keep the microphone clean. Just to start, so my name is David Vananen, and originally I am from Finland, but indeed I'm currently working in Cambodia. I'm a technical advisor for an NGO, Kampuchea Action to Promote Education, particularly focusing on digital education. And I'm working on a few projects. One of them is a role in the New Generation Pedagogical Research Center, which is a new center based at the National Institute of Education, and also hosting this conference here in Phnom Penh in Cambodia. And I have a couple of other projects working to support ministry, providing ICT support, both as a for the COVID response and recovery program, and also in the improvement of upper secondary education sector. So I'm happy to have this discussion on mentoring, and also particularly in STEM. I think that's very important that we can share these experiences from around the globe and how we can learn from each other. And I think we can then continue this discussion also on the following panel on the international cooperation. But focusing on STEM here, I think we have everywhere in the world challenges due to this COVID pandemic situation, but I think it has been also an opportunity for us to address these issues and kind of continue discussions and then think about kind of the foundations and how we can improve the systems in general. I think what was mentioned from Singapore, the general plans in Cambodia are similar, at least on the level of discussion, and there are some discussions on how to implement those nationwide, particularly what comes to STEM. So in Cambodia also there is no subject as STEM, but we are working on integrating STEM into or interdisciplinary aspects into the subjects. And indeed, we have components like computational thinking and coding that we are actually discussing on what are the best ways to implement or integrate this kind of more holistic approaches into the education in a more widespread manner. So one aspect I can mention is the mentoring program at the New Generation Pedagogical Research Center. I think Stanislas Kowalski, Mr. Stanislas Kowalski will be talking more about the program itself. I've been supporting particularly the ICT in education stream, and that's where we have introduced topics on computational thinking. So firstly, kind of integrating with other aspects. So how not just about the technology, but how the technology relates to pedagogy and what are the objectives in the classroom teaching, and then thinking of how technology can support to achieve those objectives. So that's specifically focused on ICT aspects, but ICT, so information and communications technologies, and that's one way to in Cambodia how we are integrating STEM, discussing through ICT. ICT is a subject in core curriculum, and there's reforms in the ICT curriculum at the moment, and there are some challenges in integrating that in at schools. But so some of the ideas is to integrate things like computational thinking through ICT education. So not just the technology, but kind of how we can improve our thinking and doing processes also, that kind of takes some ideas from STEM, some scientific methodologies or scientific methods and processes, and also processes in the computation and how the machines process information. So one aspect is directly related to mentoring. So we have this component in the Master of Education in Mentoring program. And again, I will leave more details to Stanislas Kowalski to explain about the mentoring program itself. But that's the way we are working on integrating these ideas through mentoring and school-based mentoring, and having a program that is supported by the Ministry of Education. So it's a very high-level master degree program. So you have professional mentors that will be then sent to schools and then providing support at school level to the teachers. So that's one aspect that we are doing, and I think leave the details for Mr. Kowalski. Other aspects that kind of addressing the challenges that are hard to do in the classroom setting. We are also working on projects on how we can provide supplementary or additional options. So we are also working on club activities and after-school program activities. So basically, what is not possible for due to different constraints to be done in classroom, we are thinking of different ways how we can augment that or provide that opportunity to students to have access to STEM and this kind of computational thinking that might be difficult to do in a classroom setting. So we are working with the ministry on setting club activities and after-school programs that could complement the curriculum in ways that are hard to integrate in the core curriculum. And we are discussing this type of after-school programs with the Ministry of Education, but also then how we can link the formal and informal education. So having community-based approaches that are available to everyone in the community through informal sector, but in a way that is linked to the formal sector education and kind of augmenting and complementing the formal education. Again, in the sense that what are challenges in the let's say public schools and even with the after school programs, then how we can provide that opportunity to students and even kind of promoting lifelong learning also. So at any age, in fact, so how the people at the communities could have access to this kind of ideas and opportunities to enhance themselves and improve the communities. So we are working also on linking this with community-based programs. Yeah, I think that's there's a lot of things I can discuss, but I wanted to just give an overview here, just on what I'm working on and what are the ideas that we are working on, and then we can have a more detailed discussion afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. He is speaking I think that is the real time. He will all understand it because of Cambodia. Which point is it is not existing informal, formal and informal. It is not existing. That is the key point. So, and then to the next step is to the engineer, all kind of to the teachers. It is not engineer part, they cannot to the concern until now. For the STEM, it's the education part. If you have we are the STEM education, we are concerned is the engineering part is very important. Okay, we will to be continue more developing the argument, and we have the more discussion after. Thank you, David. Thanks again. Okay, now to the I have the inviting to the Martiris. Professor Martiris, are you coming? No. It's not yet. So okay. Now next, Dr. Kathleen, if you are the first, is to your opinion, and then we are the listening from the USA. USA is maybe I think that is very higher STEM education. We have the high opinion from the Dr. Kathleen. I'd like to calling to Dr. Kathleen. Please, you have the opinion is to give to us.
Well, thank you to Dr. Chanroth and to everyone on this committee for having me and helping me know how best to contribute to the group. It's an honor to work with all of you and to help you with what you're doing. And so the United States is an interesting place in that we have state boards of education. We have a national board of education, but we have state boards. And so the states have a lot of control over how they define their board of education and even their curriculum and their textbook. So just to keep it simple, I'm going to focus on the state of Massachusetts, which I think has a very good advanced plan for education. And there are educator license and preparation program approval regulations. So we have educator preparation programs. We have different types of educator licenses, requirements for licensure. We have requirements for field-based experience. So a teacher has to have about a year of student teaching. We have to have initial teacher licensing and specialist teacher licenses. We have to have subject matter knowledge requirements for teachers. We have specialist teacher licenses. So for example, I got certified after a 4-year program to have a license, a professional license in Pennsylvania to teach chemistry. If I wanted to teach physics, I would have had to have taken a different set of courses, and I would have had to do my student teaching for a year with mentors in physics. There's also licenses and routes for administrators. There are professional standards for administrative leadership, professional support personnel licenses. For example, if you are if you're working with children with IEPs, with individual education plans, you need a special license for that. There's also standards for induction programs for teachers, and standards for induction programs for administrators. And so it's quite complicated. We also then have standards for mentors. So the role of the mentor is very important and is well defined, and there are rubrics for expectations for the mentee and the mentor, and the types of activities that would be considered appropriate for them to get their license to teach. Okay, so that's an overview, and I can put in the chat box a link to the Massachusetts set of licenses, just for your information. It's not, I'm not saying it's the best, I'm just saying it's a comprehensive set. So that's for Massachusetts Department of Education. Then the next question then is, how do most states plan for mentoring in STEM, or how do they develop a STEM program? One very common program that's being used across the United States, which is also an online program, is the Carnegie STEM Excellence Pathway, which is a program which gives the individual school system control over what they find is relevant. So a school in a rural community would have a different focus in STEM than a place that has a big industrial base, because the jobs and the focus might be in one place and more related to improving agriculture or improving management of food sources and so on. Whereas in the other, it might be related to water treatment, pollution for water treatment, or, you know, there are different real world issues that depend on the school. So the Carnegie STEM Excellence Pathway program is very general, and I can drop a link into that also. Actually, what I could give you is the one which we developed in Cambodia with Dr. Chan Roth in 2019. And then in 2020, I went to America and I took the $2,000 course, and I became a certified provider for the Carnegie STEM Excellence Pathway. And they gave me all the material, and we did the program. And to the extent that we could, at that point, we tailored it to what we felt were the relevant issues in Cambodia. And the thing about the STEM Excellence Pathway is that it's an iterative process. So you look at where you are, and you say, what are my goals, and what are my 3 priorities? And then you have change throughout a school system or a province based on peer mentoring for that set. And then you iterate again, you evaluate, where am I at and what can I provide? What's needed? So I'll give you a link to the one that we developed, the first version, and I'll put that in the box. 1 minute, let me get that. It might take me a minute to find it. Actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll give you the STEM Excellence Pathway, because that's maybe more relevant, STEMosphere. So I'll give you the one that actually, instead of ours, I'll give you the one that is in the United States. It's free. So you can use this tool to produce a plan for improving your STEM education. So I've dropped that in the box, in the chat box. And let me summarize what that is. 1 minute, please. Okay. Over my document. So the STEM Excellence Pathway basically gives you the ability to plan around 6 action items: teacher qualifications, curriculum, instructional practices, assessment and demonstration of skills, family engagement, and real world connections. And for each of those areas, you can create your own levels, you know, beginning up to leading, and define for each level the criteria that would indicate that you had met that. So you would, for example, for mentoring, which would be section 1D. For peer mentoring, you might say that you are progressing if your educators meet at least twice a year in STEM mentoring, with a regular meeting, teacher observations, online discussion forums, professional development, or curriculum analysis, and that a teacher would discuss and work to improve the curriculum, instruction, and assessment, and they would put in place mechanisms that are recognized by the institution. And then a leading level might be that the educators engage in at least monthly formal STEM peer mentoring that allows educators to discuss and work to improve STEM curriculum, instruction, and assessment through a professional learning community. So you evaluate along that trajectory where you are, and then you find your obstacles, your challenges, your human and financial resources, your commitment, your scheduling, and taking all of that into account, which is very much school specific. Then you write for 3 priority items, your SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable, and so on. And you assign to specific people, specific roles, so that way you can then measure success at the end of the time period. So that's the STEM Excellence Pathway in a nutshell. Then the next question was related to implementation. And so I was at a school, a private school for a year, working on integrated STEM for a group of Cambodians that had at each grade level a range of abilities, a range of backgrounds, and a range of awareness of the curriculum. So there is a differentiation was required. You couldn't teach one lesson and stand in the front and expect anybody to pass because they were all at different levels. So the goal that we put into place for the STEM integrated program that I developed there was to use daily formative assessment. And because I was working with 400 students, and because I wanted to have the data managed very quickly for teachers, I chose to use ZipGrader. Which would allow me to then give them higher order thinking skill, multiple choice questions. And I could do different ones in the class depending upon ability level. And I could scan it very quickly with my phone and get a grade for the whole class. So if the students—
Sorry, Dr. Catherine, time is to you have to keep the another person's talking.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay. And I very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, it's closely. So, and then we will is to more give to the few minutes. So you are the almost summarizing. Because of another persons, we have the listening, and then to the time is released. Okay, so next presenter or to the opinions, maybe I think that Mr. Stanislas Kowalski, he is working into the NGPRC. Maybe I think so is he will is very appealing to the real time. Is to the idea. We will now to the planning. It is more better. So I'd like to invite it to, we can call to the Mr. Kowalski. You are the feelings to the NGPRC, how was it developing? It is more better, you are to give the ideas. Okay, please.
So I'm Stanislas Kowalski. I'm the mentor of NGPRC in charge of curriculum design. So NGPRC is training mentors, school-based mentors, as David has mentioned already, not just for STEM, but for all the subject matters. STEM being a priority right now. But we also train mentors for social sciences and also for primary education. These mentors are school-based for a very good reason, because we want to empower teachers to take into account the real practice and the real classroom experience. What's important in a program like this is that all the mentors that we are training are already teachers. So they really know the job and they don't get their training from nowhere. They understand the reality of the field. It's also in line with a more general system in the new generation schools, which are also school-based managed at the lowest level possible. We apply the principle of subsidiarity, which means that decision should be made at the lowest level that is possible, considering the skills of the workers. To do that, it's important to train people properly with a high level education, with a level education. So it's also related to research, professional ethics, teaching methodology, and ICT. These are the four streams of our syllabus. They are integrated in toward one objective, is to prepare, that is to prepare mentors to be wise advisor. You cannot be a good advisor if you don't have the experience, but you cannot be a good advisor if you don't take into account pedagogical research, if you are not able to conduct research about your own practices. And of course, to integrate the modern tools through ICT. About STEM specifically, I'm not the most qualified person to provide advice. Mentors from NGPRC work in the schools, which means that they don't cover only their own subject matter. You might be a math teacher, but you have to mentor also the other science teachers. That's the STEM approach. If you are a Khmer teacher, you will mentor also teachers of social sciences, history, maybe language, and so on. So that's what we are trying to do. If you are interested in the syllabus of NGPRC and our approaches, I will share a link to our syllabus and other information about the center. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, finish. Okay, thank you very much. So Swarovski. He is to the, maybe I think that he is to the stay, now is to the, he is to the opinion is very important. I think so. I will agree because of the first time we needed in the setup, how was to the setup, that is the ICT or some kind of like this, the first. Second is to them who are is to the inviting, and then they will is to mentoring the method like this. Okay, I have the one more inviting to the final, the from Thailand. Professor, are you coming or not yet? Okay, so okay, we have two many kind of the questions. We have the listening the question, and then I will keep two times to the it's not enough. Maybe to the I will to per presenter I will keep to 2 minutes, and then to I have look at see checking the box. The first. By the Minister of Education strategy to STEM education since 2016 till now, STEM still is the narrow policy school to teachers understanding. How do we push to implementing STEM? And then to the second is to the question box. STEM education be able to apply only with the STEM teacher to other teacher who have different subject matter of to STEM can apply in their actual classroom. Yes. And then to if you have any questions, please drop in. Okay. It might be the okay. Okay, like this two kind of the question is key point. how was the policy side, and then to the how was the classroom are connecting. That is to the question is real time. Now is we are talking to our high opinion, but is we need in real time the first, and then second is the more high opinion is more better. Who are response? That is the point. Maybe Kathleen.
Maybe
Okay. Oh, David. Okay. David
maybe
first.
I can just briefly respond to some from my experience or background. Indeed, I think both questions are quite interesting, and indeed, there has been, as I mentioned, a lot of discussion about STEM integration into the education in Cambodia, and we have policy frameworks and a lot of discussion around those. But indeed, as mentioned in the question, that there are challenges to actually get that implemented at school level, so that's and at school level, and then directly at the teachers. So how we can? So question is really how we can empower the teachers to be knowledgeable and able to apply these ideas and methods. So it is a process, and I think it's kind of what Catherine mentioned about the STEM excellency pathway, and the kind of drawing on those experiences, so she can continue on more on that approach and applications of that in Cambodia. But I do agree with the idea that it is a process, and you have to kind of start where you can, and that's one of the ways that what we are doing is through this mentoring program. So we have established a master degree program on mentoring that is supported by the ministry, and we are, as Stanislas just mentioned, that we are providing those overview of these new approaches and ideas from STEM, and around that through this program, and then the mentors who graduate from the program are going back to the schools and then provide that support at school level and continuous professional development at school level.
Okay. Mute. David.
David, we can't hear you.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Okay.
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 Okay. The next question. So to the around the global, to what specific criteria or requirement that to the mentors can be considered to commitment enough to guide to the mentees, special or poor STEM education. Kathleen, you can the discussions you are receiving.
Okay.
You are receiving.
Well, one
Okay.
thing that I did was can you hear me? Okay. One thing I did was I went to the different state departments of educations, and I found the rubrics that they use for mentoring. So there's although they're not specifically STEM, there is a lot of information out there about the required for an active mentor. What are the requirements? And I can drop some of these, I believe, into the chat window. I'm not sure if they'll come across. They're actually embedded in text. They may not come across unless I type them. Okay. So I'll slowly drop some of these rubrics in, or I'll give you a link to the document that has all of them. And then you just go down to the slide that says mentoring rubrics. I can do that. This happens to be a slide deck which was used in the workshop that I had. So teachers are contributing to this set their comments about STEM education. So you're going to see people from Cambodia and around the world who are contributing this, so it's going to be a bit messy. But the slide that I'm referring to is, let me tell you, it's actually slide number, what is that number? Number 10. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's slide number 9. So that has a list of mentoring rubrics. That is what you're looking for in general. For STEM, there is also a very nice collection of documents related to how we see science differently now than we did 10 years ago. So now we're not really doing an explanation from a model. We're working from argumentation by comparing different explanations for a phenomenon. It's a very different approach. So students now are looking at a phenomenon, maybe a meteor falling across the sky, and they're starting then to form an argument about why that happens. And then they use this 5E cycle where they are slowly introduced to concepts from an inquiry-based approach. So one comment in the chat box was that students are bored because there's no A. But I think that if you go, it's not about the A, it's about the inquiry. And I think that student engagement, whether it includes art or engineering or whatever, is enhanced when students are creating the knowledge themselves. So I'll send a link that talks about these storylines and phenomena. Let me go to that. And I think that my 2 minutes are up now, but I'll go ahead and even though, okay, here we go. So these are all the STEM teaching tools. And it's a really interesting collection.
Okay, Kathleen, we have
Yes,
to the development argument because we have the time is reduced. The keyword you can to the introduce is more better because of now is to the hour to the in the high education or all participation they know is the some kind of level. So and then the development argues and then the adding the point how was qualifying like this is the click. So the shortly to the explain and then another country give two opportunity. Okay, so next
I didn't understand a word you said, sorry.
Okay, yes. So and then to the Professor Maitri, are you coming or not yet? Okay, so and then
I'm so sorry, Professor. So we have tried to contact him, but maybe internet connection unstable.
Okay.
So we're so sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So Professor General is you will the summarizing few minutes. So listening from. Oh, okay. So Professor Tottingham, are you there? Okay.
Yes,
so
yes,
many,
I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So Professor, you are the whole kind of to the this point. How was to impact in Cambodia at this time? As you know, the real time is the many kind of to the on to the teachers. Now is to the many countries coming in. They have to the look at this. How was the step by step first and then second is third. And then to the next is the near the future like this. How was this more better if you have to your experience? Please.
I can't hear you quite clearly. So sorry. I can't hear you very clearly.
Okay, so and then to the now is to the real time to Cambodia. How was the impact? The STEM education and science teachers mentoring. We will give the opportunity some kind of the more design. That is the key point.
Actually, okay, from my perspective about this STEM education, pardon me, I may not be able to answer your questions directly because I may not be very familiar with the whole system in Cambodia. But my whole idea of this STEM education, when I work with teachers from several countries about STEM, they are most concerned when we talk about STEM. There are many different definitions of STEM. But this STEM education, the concept of STEM seems to frighten many teachers in some countries off because of the word engineering. Yes, perhaps I guess one thing that we actually think that the focusing part should be on developing the mathematics and the science education to slowly to review the curriculum and to see the interdisciplinary nature of these subjects and how to incorporate all these things. I guess this should be the first step, and the teachers' professional development should be based on that. Rather than starting off with something called STEM as a new subject, that makes it very difficult for most teachers who are even unwilling to start. Why not try to beef up on the science, on the mathematics, and the infusion of technology? Slowly, we are moving towards STEM. One definition of STEM is that at least you infuse at least 2 or 3 of the components of STEM.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sorry for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. You asked more clearly. We need it in Cambodia now is to the small to the set up. It is very important. Science and mathematics studied, and then to the more extension. So engineer and social science like this to the more extensions. Okay, are relevant to understanding of STEM education to the curriculum. And then second is to the, we have the teacher mentoring, and then how was to the design that like this is more to the concern. And then to the, we have the discussions after to the, we can conduct should be advantage and disadvantages, that is issue. So after finished to our conference, so we will to the some kind of connecting that is point. Let me another some question. We time is now is to the near closely. So I will give to 1 minute our to the final to the definition. So you have the idea, and then to the final more clearly. So explain is more better. The first who are first. Professor Janard, he's the next session is to the preparing. And to the who are first. I can, David, you are first. 1 minute, I will give 1 minute summarize.
Oh, hello. No, thank you. So I think as I mentioned earlier, I think this is a great opportunity for us to come together and learn from each other's experiences. And so I already made several notes myself on the experiences from the Singapore, from Philippines, from the United States, and I think this is it's a great conversation starter, and indeed I hope to follow up with these ideas and also engage with the more general community. So I hope we will be able to answer the questions in the conference forum, and please. Hopefully we can share our information so we can directly communicate also with the participants and attendees. So I instead of going into other details, I think I just prefer to leave it at that. Let's continue the conversation that we started, and I think the next panel is a great way to also continue on this topic on the aspects of international cooperation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, David. And to the Kathleen, I will give to 1 minute. You will summarize it. Dr. Kathleen,
Okay.
please. Okay.
So I worked at a school with 400 students doing an integrated STEM program. And I would say that you have to focus on the needs of the students in the class by doing a formative assessment for learning. And then you have to look at the curriculum from the ministry and look back and see what were the most missed areas from the previous year and use those learning outcomes as the guiding outcomes to plan your STEM project. So, and then you plan your STEM project, and then you look across the curriculum map, biology, chemistry, physics, and then you find a common example which covers it. So in our case, we did a hydroponic garden with sensors to measure and water and so on. And so it's very much class by class design. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next to Kowalski. Mr. Kowalski, you are summarizing to 1 minute.
Yeah. What? Sorry, I missed the question.
Here is to the final summarized because of time is more closely. You will your to the thinking is to 1 minute summarized briefly.
I don't have much to add to what the others have already said.
Yeah.
STEM is not my main field of expertise. So I will assist in any way possible, but I think most of the mentors are in a support role. That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are you hearing, Kowalski? No? Okay. Okay. Next. So is the Professor Gennaro. Are you there? The final.
Yes.
I will give to 1 minute. It's time is not more closely. You will comment this more. Please. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for this very interesting cross-pollinating discussion. What I can say at this moment in time that the Philippines needs to connect with the Asian community, particularly in the experiences also on how our neighboring countries manage their STEM, and that I see the need for my country to look at and to calibrate the curricular content of Bachelor of Secondary Education, because our curriculum was designed for that purpose without still the senior high school. And we need synchronized research, not just about our country, but also in collaboration with other countries, so that we will be able to exchange practices and help exchange solutions to our age-old problems. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So time is to the more closely. Dr. Chan, you will list to the final mentor, the 1 minute. You can do 1 minute. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for all expertise to join this discussion session. And just would like to inform you that Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport and put the STEM education is a priority, and especially we implemented at the new generation school. We have 10 new generation school, and curriculum we could update and depend on the school need. And now in COVID-19 we change almost nearly 50% to adapt the situation that teacher and student really need to distance learning or e-learning, or we develop the methodology of teaching as student center or inquiry based learning, something. And especially we train students to self-learning, very important, that if they could independent learning, they could learn successful. And thank you for your kind support and kind cooperation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to all participations. Thank you very much. I will to the 1 minute closing mentor, and then we will to be continuing next sessions, the international corporations, the round tables to be continuing. Okay, participations to all kind of to the high opinions. We have to thank you very much join us. I will summarize it all today. Today is to the high opinions. The purpose of topic 3 or 4, or many kind of to the opinion, but we have the more focus in the reduced and left to basically useful work respectively, and the argument concern to the we have to behind the scope of this STEM education, and then to the with the reference to argument STEM education, the teacher mentoring, and then to how was to developing the next step, how was to call networking. On the top of the which are to the NGPRC, which is one of the most important factor. Addition, we also interview with some of the real problem, teacher and leadership of opinion, to the intern to the pedagogic side. The further argument to support in the rising STEM education, that is to the more effectively in increasing moreover many of to the convincing the using. That like this to the we have the conductor how was to the activity advantage can useful and disadvantage real time that we are described would be used. Everyone else to the light to provide that we remember this then we can give to teacher and mentoring the right in the mentoring teacher progressive the viewer. So and then to having said that they have the very complex issue with the more to the simple. We will do like the more simple and then to we must carefully how to go give our how we go not to there the right way. Like this is more better. And then to the we have to finally we will anytime like this to worry about many countries professor or some volunteer. I hope so is to be continued. We must strive to the reach of the true that is the STEM education to contribute in Cambodia. So many our people I hope so is to the many to the high professor and to the volunteer many good ideas. I have any time to be continued. Next year we will to the more discussions. Thank you very much join us to our session. Okay, thank you. Maybe time is to the our time is the more 15 minutes. Sorry, is the next session to the Professor General. We will to be continue the participation and then to the leave the opinion. We will go there. Okay. Thank you very much. Dr. Tsang, you are receiving that is to our session. I'm sorry, it's the time more released. Okay.
No problem, doctor.
All questions
okay, thank you so much.
All our member, yeah. We will forward all questions to all our member, IPC member, who could answer. Please answer the next. But now we could move to next session. Is we talk about the international cooperation that chaired by Professor General Chopos and Dr. Catherine. Please, your turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the second round of our discussion on issues related to mentoring, particularly now on international cooperation. A few days back, Dr. Catherine Prammer and myself conversed via Zoom to map out how today's discussion will shape, and we have identified certain areas, and we set out a short instruction to participants because we wanted to have a pre-survey about what do they think about our topic today. I really wanted to connect with Dr. Prammer yesterday, but my city in Cagayan de Oro had no internet. And so this morning, I had to leave very early to go back to my home city now in Cagayan de Oro City so that I can have the internet. Dr. Prammer, can you give us a little briefing on what happened to the solicited questions that we have, whether there have been ideas that are also posted in our slides?
Yes, and I can do it one of two ways. I put in the chat box a link which goes to the document which Dr. Gennaro Japos very thoughtfully designed to match the needs of developing countries. And so, and then I've taken responses that were given and put in all of the links to the abstracts for the speakers who talked about those topics. So if you click on the link, you will get to, and shall I share my screen and show it, or what do you
Yes,
think?
please.
Okay, so I'm
Please
going to
do.
share my screen and show you exactly what we're referring to. And the idea is that we are a community of excellent educators, and the idea was to give everybody a voice in a professional learning community through this slide deck. So I'm going to share my screen and show you. I guess I'll do desktop, and okay, this will be a mess. Okay, so here's the document. Can you hear me and can you see?
Yes, yes.
And this is what the link is. It's actually the link that goes with the talk on the agenda or the program. And it basically says, you know, we, the committee, this roundtable discussion group, the panel, want to get, we want to have the opportunity to give voice to the expertise of the participants and the attendees on mentoring. And so we've created a shared document where you can contribute to the discussion on international cooperation. And there you can select the area that you are most likely to contribute to. Perhaps you are interested in STEM or equity and inclusive education, or whatever your focus is. And then you can create a slide. So I will now put the link to this into the chat box. Actually, I can't because I'm sharing. But when you go to the first link, then you'll go to the second. Okay, and so here we have our opening, and I thought it was so poetic. Do you want to describe it at this point? Then I'll show the slides, the seeds for mentoring. I put your quote on there too, you know. Dr. Jeffers, do you want to explain that? Because that vision.
Oh, seeds for mentoring. Okay. This is because all of us would like to put in our personal expertise and resources and sacrifices for this. And the more that we offer our ideas, that will form the seeds for mentoring. And then from the seeds, it grows so that we can, through international cooperation, we can create our own organization for mentoring in our respective countries. And then we can go into federating across Asia and the Pacific. And then we can go as far as, you know, I'm sharing an Asian mentoring resource center where our civilizations, our experimentation experiences can be together. Okay. Can you proceed, Dr. Catherine?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So right now, out of 197 participants in our Zoom room, we have 9 people on the document, but that's okay. The nice thing is the speakers today from Texas A&M and other places are seeing this too, and they're going to contribute at a later date. So the first concept was, and what you do is this, there are slides right here, okay? So you have 5 slides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the templates. So let's say I want to comment on mentoring framework. I would do a Control C, and then I would go down below the line, and I would do a Control V. And that would then give me my own copy, and then I can put my name here, Promer, and my email at, you know, a1kep@me.com. And then I can, so on. I can then have, you can contact me, I can give more information. So let me show you this. So this is how I would start editing. But now I'm going to go to this one, which I had actually entered data on. So this one I've just added, it's new. This one I added data on. So mentoring frameworks. Now, what can you do with this? You can leave me a comment. So I can pick the comment bubble and I could say, please send the corresponding professional development. Because not only is there a framework, but they
Okay.
But they also have a So this is a comment. Okay, so this is how this is used. This then becomes an online professional learning community. So now I've made a comment and I'm commenting to myself, but I know where they are, so I could then share the information. So this allows us to all not only to contribute, but to comment, to have a conversation, a shared vision. So now I'm going to go full screen because it's, there we go. There we go. So let me go to the next one. So the second one is, the first one is the framework. Please provide a URL of a framework that you value. And also components that you focused on in your research, classroom, or training. We are forming a working group to jumpstart mentoring in developing countries. From what you have done, we hope to try the variation here. Please state if you'd like to lead a research team or to contribute. So there's the first question. I say yes, and then I say Dr. Irby's URLs at Texas A&M must be included. And then I put down these links, and these are all links to things. This is a New York Board of Education guidelines for implementing a district-based teacher mentoring program. You can click on it, and now you can go to the State of New York's complete program for mentoring, initial steps, mentoring plan components, designing the program, and so on. So it gives you in one place a lot of information. So the first one was the framework. The second thing was the tools. What tools do we have? These are the rubrics which I put into the, which I tried to put in the chat box for the last talk. The third thing is mentoring tools. The fourth thing is collaboration on an online mentoring course. So I've put here links from Texas A&M because they gave talks. And if you click on this, you can then go to their talk and you can see the abstract. At some point I'll put their PPT in, but right now I don't have the PPTs in. So you can then see what they're doing and you can get in touch with them if you think that's something that you want to include. The next thing is the international research collaboration. How are you interested? Do you have a framework for doing that? What is an area that you are interested in that would be relevant in the Philippines or in Cambodia? And then the next is the shared thoughts for the roundtable. What would you like us to discuss? So those are our talking points. We want to talk about mentoring frameworks for international collaboration. We want to talk about mentoring tools. We want to talk about the online mentoring course. And I will say this too, that Texas A&M is in the process of writing an MOU with Dr. Chanroth, or Professor Chanroth, to bring part of their online program here. So that is in development at some level. And then research collaboration. And so then we start. So please everyone contribute to this and just grab a new slide, add it at the end. So for example, let's say I want to talk about collaboration on the course. So I do Control C, or I do a copy, I go to the bottom, I do a Control View, there's my slide, I put my name here. And then I'm now in the conversation. Is used frequently in the United States, and with the comments and then a consensus slide, it's a great way to get student engagement. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can go back to the talk, and we can now talk about those specific conversations.
All right, so that's very, very nice. So I am glad that today we have representatives from various countries, particularly in this part of the world in Asia. So one of the things that is really a need of the moment now is, where do we get our knowledge on mentoring? Because as far as the Philippines is concerned, we are more of practice. We lack the research. That is why we are looking forward to being engaged in one. If we can come up with an online Coursera for mentoring, if there are some of us or some people from the West who can create Coursera okay, an online course that can be accessed by different people who are, you know, helping and mentoring, that will be very, very good. And perhaps Dr. Catherine and some other people in JPRC can help create that course, and then we need a partner university so that they will be the one to put that online as part of their Coursera, as some kind of a tool by which people will have common ground, particularly in their knowledge and framework about mentoring. I'd like to ask the representatives who are here today, how do you see that as a possibility, or would you like your country to be engaged in putting up a Coursera? Because there is none I check in Coursera about mentoring. This can be one opportunity, so that, you know, many people can, you know, access. May I get ideas from other countries? Okay. How about from Thailand? Who would like to come forward and, you know, give us your point of view on this one? Because this will help calibrate our knowledge and framework of mentoring. That there is some kind of an online course. Or another possibility could be that the pedagogical center will run an online course so that the other countries in, you know, Asia can participate in that. Any rejoinder to this possible future action?
Yes, I think we can organize an online course that will be an adaptation of our own strategy. Of course, circumstances are different in different countries. So if you want something that is adapted to your needs, we should have a discussion. For instance, in Cambodia, we put a very big emphasis on ethics, professional ethics, because of some issues that we have observed in the country. Bad habits like making students pay illegal fees, that kind of things. Each country has its own problems. So I will be very happy to work with you on designing a general course on mentoring. And if you need something more specific related to the difficulties that the teachers in your country can meet, I'm open to discussion.
I'm glad to hear that, because one of the possibilities that Dr. Bramer and me have seen is that we can offer a 3-unit course for master's programs and PhD programs, and that since we lack teachers on mentoring, they can actually go to an online mentoring course and then have that credited for the 3-unit course that they will enroll. Because when people finish their college or masters or PhDs, people that they work with. So if that can be, you know, worked out on the policy level, we can bring this out in the National Organization for Teachers. All right. So that there are really clients who will go into this program. Okay. Any other rejoinder to the affirmation of our colleague from EJPRC that, you know, this program on online course and mentoring can be supported? May we hear from Korea?
Yes, okay.
Dr. Kim, are you online? Yes.
Yes, we will try to the more developing. Because of, may I have a question? So, how was the concern to the budget or the Cambodian teachers' participations? They will to the who are guaranteed?
What do you mean, the budget for what?
Yes, if you have to participation or the mentoring the team, who are supported the budget?
Oh, the mentors we are training benefit from a full scholarship program from the Ministry of Education.
From the minister, okay.
Yeah, and since they are already teachers with experience, they keep their salary during their studies, which is very generous, but necessary for the level of competencies that we want in our program.
If you have to the project is to the completely, we have to the international center, Philippines or Korea also, or USA also. If you have the VR course sharing, that is the connecting program, each part of there. So we will find out some professor, each majors, they have two participation. We like this, we have organized, which is point. The first year, or to the one semester, we will be installing in Philippines, one semester in Korea, one semester in USA. Like this, it is more better, because of to the I wanted that is to the emphasize, because of to which point we have to one semester. And then if you have like this, they are to the hoster, the country, they have supported each part of the major. For example, science and chemical and engineering. Like this, they have to the university inside inviting to a concern to the volunteer or some kind of the joining. That is key point. Only as a member, if you have like this in Koika or in Korean, so 12 or 15, like this as a member, we will is to the inviting in university or some kind of places. Like this organized is more better. Next year, Professor General, I will submit it to, I will make opinions. You have the first started in Philippines. Now it's to the infrastructure is more better, your side. So if you have, we will supply that is to the program. If you have to the teacher mentors, the subject first we are research, and then second is you are started. And to the Singapore also, we will is to the before to the we have more sending to the letter, we will join together. Like this, 5 or 6 university organized are concerned. That is the point. And then to the we will another side is more developing. Next step is to more developing. We will organize it. I will push up. Okay.
I would like to inform you a point of budget for new generation school program. We have the budget of teacher capacity development that we need to join this program, that when we have the training for the teacher from new generation school, it no problem. We have budget to move them to
completely
join the program. Yes.
Okay.
So that is very good, because that would mean that, you know, we all affirm that we need, you know, as a leverage, common ground understanding of and the knowledge and the skills for mentoring. So thank you for that, because, you know, we affirm that is needed. And then I think the next point of yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. Stan has a point to add. I apologize. I saw him on the screen waving, so I apologize for interrupting.
It's not related to budget directly, but it's a very important point. In mentoring occurs in an institutional framework with regulations, laws,
exactly,
and in a training system that include inset. The first training at the teacher training institution, and it's if we want to design training on mentoring that is relevant to your country, we will need to have an understanding of the overall training system that exists already in your country.
Okay.
I think if you go at the level of the peer-to-peer, you know, it depends on the level. If you're going from the leadership level down, that's a concern. But if you're talking about mentoring at the level of teacher to teacher,
yeah,
or even school principal to teacher in relationship only to pedagogical or to skills, then I think you remove the issues related to licensing. So I agree with you that it's very complex, but for a 3-unit course, if you focus on just the teacher-teacher, inductee, mentor teacher, and the leadership managing that within a school system, similar to what they have in the STEM Excellence Pathway in terms of producing an infrastructure which supports, I think that you can get around those very difficult problems which you're referring to, Stan. I agree, those are very complex.
Yes, what I want to explain about this, of course, there are some general skills that are applicable everywhere in the world. But in the duties that will be assigned to mentors by the institutions, some might come with difficulties. For instance, mentoring is based on trust between the mentor and the mentee. But if the mentors has to report the content of his discussion with the mentee to an authority, it might make the discussion more difficult. That's why I think it's important to work also on the institutional dimension of the function. Of course, if you can organize mentoring informally in your school, you don't have to bother with that problem. But it will concern maybe it will be just maybe 1 hour a week or something like that, and not some strategy that is more consistent.
Okay.
Okay. So
Mr. Kowalski,
yes, please.
Just a minute.
Yes, Dr. Kim.
I will list to the one more questions. So I think that is if you have to the Cambodia, the teachers or to the NGPR as NGPRC as a member, you will keep to wanted the curriculum, the mentor curriculum you will sending to Professor General, and then receiving to the Professor General, they have to some kind of the requester you will receiving organize the first. That is the inviting to the same to the teacher or are related majors. How was to be continuing like this is more better.
Okay, we can trace out the details later. What is important is that we all agree that that is the way to go and it can be done. Okay, and so therefore, because if we collectively will it, all the other problems are secondary in nature. Okay. Thank you. So at this point, we would like to raise on the issue of, putting up some kind of an Asian Mentoring Resource Center. So an Asian Mentoring Resource Center is a place where we deposit our knowledge, our research, our tools in mentoring, not just that we produce, but those that we solicit from the West, so that people who would need certain information, certain tools, certain pedagogies can just access that. One of the example is that the 3 days conference has generated so much information. We have not even heard all of the speakers, okay, although they have been recorded. But if they can be, harnessed together, then some of these papers can come up into an Asian Journal of Mentoring or something like that, or we can create, a handbook for mentoring, something like that. And then because from 3 days we can create something already concrete and then put it there, and then by asking our counterparts from different parts of the world, they will also give us links to their own depositories of knowledge. Because the question for teachers in the field and administrators is, if I need information, where do I go? But if they know that there is such a thing as an Asian Mentoring Resource Center, which could probably be in Cambodia, all right, and so there is something that we can look forward to, so that all our conferences, all the results of the papers, we can be deposited in one, and then our respective institutions can have the link, and then we can access that. Okay, free of charge. Okay. How do you look at that?
Professor General. So we will asking Professor Tao Ting Nam from Singapore. So we will join together because of to the Singapore that is to the mentoring program very well.
Okay.
Okay, we
I
will.
think also that there's the issue with 10 of the presenters came from Texas A&M. And if you want them to be in your mentoring handbook, you've got a good percentage of the total body of knowledge that was transferred related to mentoring online. It's practically all from them. So I think we need to be careful with the list of people who were active this year, and that it should be rotating based on who's contributing to the conference. You know, you can't write a handbook when they won't give you permission to put their stuff in it, because at the next level, you cannot do anything unless they give you permission to print it. So relative to this conference, there's a limit based on the people who actually presented. But in the future, if the Korean group wants to have 20 people and you control the intellectual property based on the people, you know, in the West, it'll be an intellectual property issue. It'll be a copyright issue. You can't publish it without getting their permission. Yes, Dan?
No. The first is to the Kowalski. He will to the first sending to the form, sending to the requester curriculum. That is the form.
Yes.
The first we will receive, and then we will reorganize because of to contribute in Cambodia. It's any other country no needed. So we know to full understand it in Cambodia, and then
but just for the handbook. The handbook for the conference, that's a different issue.
And then to the in Singapore, in Thai, and to the which country is more better if you have the first receiving based on to the from Cambodia, and then should be added more guideline and the policy manual or teaching manual started to Cambodia is more better.
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, I'm currently working on another project for the Ministry of Education and the Asian Development Bank on mentoring to design a national framework on mentoring.
We will together.
National dimension of it, and also a handbook. So that's something that we will be developing anyway next year for Cambodian schools. And I'm pretty sure that we will be able to share at least some of our material and our work with you. And maybe some guidelines to adapt it to different contexts, if you are.
Okay. Yes.
So
that will be very good.
If you are interested in such an activity, please let me know, and we can see how we might organize it.
Okay. So in the third topic here, we would also be asking other people who have not yet spoken to contribute their sense worth of the ideas here. It has got to do with research collaboration and mentoring, because we all know and we all recognize the fact that any movement for change requires corresponding documentation and then research methodology, so that after some time we will be able to look back at the experience and get something scientific out of that, so that we can contribute to the literature, we can enrich the framework, we can create new Asian theories or new theories. So it would be very, very important if we can create such a collaboration for research. Okay, may we ask our representative from Singapore, from Thailand, from Malaysia, and then Japan, Korea, who are here today to give ideas on this one, whether you are willing, whether that could be part of your vision also, that why not? We can create one common methodology, but then we will have per country sourcing of data, and then we process our data per country, and then we put them together so that we will be able to see, okay, this is how things get, and okay, this is how we need to solve these problems. because we are inhabiting the, similar cultures, similar context, similar geography. So maybe a lot of that can be shared, who are willing to contribute to this direction, that we can create a collaborative research, so that after the 3 days conference, we can send notices to people, so that representatives of different countries can come together to create, 1, 2, or 3 joint research, so that in the next conference, that will be next year, then these studies can be presented in the plenary, so that we will be able to draw out more experiences from other countries. Yeah. So who will start the ball rolling? Yes, please. Who would like to talk?
Professor
Who would like to
Leung,
join? Yes, please.
Professor Leung, you came to your idea to explain to us.
Sorry. Okay. Actually, I think to create such a community, I think it is really important collaboration across the different countries on this mentoring. I think this is very helpful, and it also helps to identify the theme for the next conference, and actually, more importantly, how it actually benefits not just Cambodian, but this community of educators. I'm supportive of this idea. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that. That the theme of the conference next year could be the theme for research that is collaborated, so that our results can be the the working document for next year's conference. All right, thank you very much for that. Okay, may we hear the voice of Thailand? If you are being represented here. Is there someone from Thailand? Yes.
I would like to inform you also about the research funding. Now, Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport do a lot of effort to get the fund from the government to support the research activity. Now, the problem of the writing research proposal, because we are young expertise, not so much experience on writing a project proposal for funding to respond to the market need and so on. And government and ministry, we have fund, but we could cooperation with all of you that have expertise on project proposal, and we write clearly our goal and result expectation to committee to evaluate and give fund.
Yeah, absolutely, Doctor. Absolutely. We will list to the youth in the government. We will preparing the document. Who are preparing document? Our as member writing to the who are to the preparing document. Maybe I think so is to our some professor join together each part of to the project, or we will register. That is key point. And then to the international funding, we will organize we will participation to some professor, and then to the writing the paper, they can use it completely, and then we will receiving as possible. Okay.
So actually, I visualize it this way, that we can have a call for participation of representatives of the countries, and then we can group together via Zoom, and then we invite a facilitator for that workshop, so that we will be able to streamline the research agenda in the next 10 years. Okay, so if we can just limit the research agenda to only 5 or 3, and then from there we create one research proposal for each of the agenda, maybe 3 proposals, and then when it is with the idea that it can be worked out in the different countries, same methodology, same design, same instrument, but then every country will collect its own data, and then we put them together, and then we have a meta-analysis, so we can see how it is. Because as it is now, I understand there have been many studies being presented, but these are community experiences and then country experiences, and we are not able to see the larger picture. So by working together, we can just have probably at the start 3 proposals. That's good enough to start. And then as we gain momentum, we can create more. And for good ideas, in my experience, there are always good funders. As long as ideas are very good, there will always be good funders for this. Okay, so I think that is an acceptable idea. We can flesh out the details later. All right, that will be very, very good. Okay, and then another one has to do with this one. This is something very, very important. If we can look at the country organizations, because when we talked with the Philippine delegation, because I always talk with them every day to prepare them every day that we cannot be late because we need to shine. We do not want to embarrass our country. We want to give our best. So we are always, we always work together. And we thought that after the conference, if we can create the Philippine Society for Mentoring and Coaching, and then from there, we are going to segment it into basic education, higher education, and then research and some others, because there are many spheres for mentoring, right? All right. So mentoring teachers, mentoring deans, mentoring who, and then together we can create one organization in which we can have, we will use that organization for the collaborations for the other countries. So if we can have, you know, like a Korean association for mentoring, you know, a Singaporean association for mentoring, and things like that, so we will be in a better position to, you know, utilize our human and logistical resources. And for that, we can create an, you know, an Asian Federation, and probably we can put the Asian Federation in GPRC or in Cambodia, and then because you know, mentoring starts there, and then all the rest will follow. Because when we are organized, there are so many things that can be done. All right. Yeah. For example, we are looking forward in the first quarter of the year. We can have the organization plus introduction to mentoring. You know, maybe it can be a day or two, and then the important things that we learned from here in the 3 days, we will be able to feed that to our countrymen in the Philippines, so that they will be able also to get nourished from, you know, from the minutes of the discussion here. And so that what we want that to happen is there will be a program of work, okay, per country, and then we can identify maybe just three teams that we can work together, and then so that in the next conference we can have a Korean report, the Philippine report, and then the Japanese report, and things like that, right?
Absolutely.
And then along agreed common lines, just three, so that it cannot be too many. And then that is good. And then what will happen a year after, you see?
Maybe
Because, you know, one of the things that is sad about is that so much attention and research has been done on teachers, yes, on learners, but not on mentors. In the Philippines, mentoring is not a genre for research. That is why we could not produce papers about mentoring, because we don't have mentoring research, because we don't have that agenda. Okay, but teaching and learning, yes. Blended learning, yes. But mentoring, no. So maybe this is one area where we look at the nourishing of the very important agent that will capacitate learners and teachers, and that's the mentors. And that is the legacy of the mentors. Okay, so any reaction from that, Dr. Kim?
Yes, Professor, you will look at see in the chatting box to the Education Malagapa. He will some suggestion to the you have the leading.
Okay, so because I'm only using my phone, so I wonder whether I can have that. Okay, all right.
Presenting the research.
The link that you can give us the feedback in the survey to improve our next conference. Okay, so please, we will all fill up the form. That is very, very important. And then yes, there is a suggestion by Dr. Ed Malagapo of Dubai Mentoring Association of Asia, composed initially of those participants presenting the researches, and then we can gain more participants for next year. All right. So I think this is a way to start. You know, we organize and then we create a vision of the future, and then we create sustaining programs, and then we create shared country experiences, and that is the way to go.
Okay, we will issue the template to first time the Philippines, second time in Korea. I will do that.
Yes.
And then third is to the which places we have to inform. So we will do preparing. And then topic is to the step by step.
Yes.
First time you will organize. You are as a member, so you are started. Second time I will to the receiving, and then third is another countries. We will like this per years for 1, 2, or 3 times or 4 times. What? How many times is to the more better?
As of now, it's difficult to determine, but I think after today we can create series of meetings and discussions to flesh out all of this. What is important is that we have a collective vision that, you know, along 3 or 4 agenda, we can work together, and then off we go. Okay. All right. So
yeah. As for federation on an Asian federation on associations, I will send you a document this evening, because I've already drafted some ideas on an association about mentoring. So, but it's a very rough draft.
Good. Thank you. You are enduring, Mr. Kowalski. Every day working.
There was one other point that you brought up, Dr. Japas, about the potential workshops. He's disappeared. I don't know. But he also had a conversation about having next year some working groups related to specific subtopics, because he's moving forward with some projects that he has. So I put it out there. He's not here to respond, but that's in the slides and the subtext in the slide deck. So I guess that's a point that's also up for consideration. Virtual workshops on specific subtopics related to the research. Dr. Chenroth, Professor Chenroth, we have one other thing. Is there an expectation next year that you'll have the second Cambodia International Virtual Conference on Mentoring? Is that already something that you're planning? You're planning that? So there'll be two separate conferences in next year, a Mentoring Association of Asia, and also a Cambodia second virtual conference on mentoring educators. I'm just wondering if we're
we will discussion more detail on IPC meeting on 3rd December at 7 p.m. in Phnom Penh time. Yeah, we will discuss much more detail.
Yeah.
30, yeah. Okay. We have plan, yeah, we have plan, but extend to Asian a big vision over my capacity. The Cambodian second International Virtual Conference will be happen next year.
Yeah.
Yes. Personally, I feel that, you know, our initiatives for collaboration will be, you know, headquartered in Cambodia. All right. So that in the second conference, okay, we have something to present there, and then, you know, the movement, so that we will not create 2 different movements. So just one. So it will be headed in Cambodia, and then, you know, our initiatives will be to support that. We will continue to support the initiatives of Cambodia. Okay, so Dr. Catherine, would you like to say something more?
I think we've covered all of the discussion topics that you wanted to cover. And there was one other thing which you had mentioned, and that was potentially workshops in January or working groups that isn't necessarily a long-term research plan, but that meets short-term goals.
Yes. Just that we will be able to break through.
Yes.
Yes. So what is important? So we start small and then quick and then fast, and then we increase our capacity as we move along. All right. So for example, we are thinking that by January we will be done with the Securities and Exchange Commission, so that our organization will not be illegal. It will become recognized by the government, and then after that we can create some kind of a workshop for defining the streams for the cooperation in conjunction also with the other countries. So which means that if Korea will do something, then it will also invite participation from other countries. If the Philippines will do something, it will not be exclusive for the Philippines, but we will also be getting participants coming from the other countries. And then if Cambodia will do something, we'll also do that, so that it is generated with the idea that the headquarters will be in Cambodia, and the Asian Mentoring Resource Center could be in Cambodia. All right, and then we support that initiative. We do not want to take that out. Okay, the reason why we will have country organization in support of that initiative, because we would like Cambodia to succeed, and along with the success, we will also be part of that.
And there was one other topic which might tie in with your January workshops in terms of just the conversation we had yesterday, is getting the documents for the Coursera, and whether it's in Coursera or if it's in a separate unit, having it all be open education resource, free, no charge. So there's no revenue stream coming from it for third world countries, because that means any teacher across Cambodia could use it across Philippines, because as soon as you put a charge on it, you've left out the rural educators. You can make a two-tier system. You could have the gold standard one with all the bells and whistles and get fancy licenses and charge for that. But, because everybody wants to make money. But I would say the first course should be open education resources, that the commitment from everybody contributes, that there's no charge. So
for developing countries, it should be open resource for developing countries. Yes,
right.
Open
So
resource.
it's got a Creative Commons license, so there's no charge, online, free to anybody. You can sign up. Now you could put a charge on having an individual license or an individual credit at your university given. That could be a separate funding stream. Student could take it, but it doesn't get recognized. You can charge them there, but the access should be free, I think.
Yes.
That was our conversation yesterday, so I thought I'd bring that up.
Yes. And with NJPRC, and then plus, our colleagues in Cambodia, both foreign and locals, that can be designed, because you see, there are limits to participation. Like there are 25 scholars in GPRC at a given time. But when you can also have it online, you will also be spreading the word and nourishing other people. Because to create an ecology, we cannot just prepare 3 tall trees. We will also create new plants so that they'll become trees. And then when the trees will be many, the birds, the insects, all of these animals will come to populate the ecology. And that will be very, very good. We may have different starting points. Others may start small, big, or medium, but the point is that the movement is there, and it has to grow. It is something that we want to see growing even after we are in active service, right? Okay, so I think this is wonderful. So at this point, we would like to ask the participation of everyone. We will give you also, just like what Dr. Kim said, 1 minute to say your piece, so that you will be able to contribute also in this covenant of defining the future for mentoring in Asia with our mother headquarters in Cambodia. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Who would like to- Yes.
First of all, we are based on in Cambodia. Second, and then to the next step, how was to be continuing and to the sustainable to contribute. That is to the international co-relationship. Third is to the we will was making is the budget. How was the budget to be continuing? Is completed is very important. And then some part is the participation is volunteer. Some part is we needed in the some little bit at the least some kind of to the transport fee like this we will support it. And then is the more good to a higher to level of to the professor participation, and then they
Yeah.
will sometime is to the more to the give to they have to the idea is more better. Okay, first time the Professor General you are the organizer. I will the supporting to the second time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other parties members of the round table who would like to say his or her piece, please,
Well,
to summarize our session? Yes, sir.
I think I will need time to process all these big and interesting projects that you have mentioned. And probably an association on mentoring and a federation will be necessary to, organize the whole thing. So I think it's a priority to get an organization in order to process all these different projects.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else who would like to talk?
The participant have the question, especially principal of New Generation School. They join, maybe they have some question related with established international cooperation, because New Generation School, they are ready to cooperate with all kinds to develop the quality of education. Moderator could pick up the question and give to the member of roundtable to answer some question very priority. The rest question we will answer by email, by on the website. Yeah, click pick through 2 or 3 question to all our member to answer the question. Yeah, especially principal from New Generation School, please.
Ed Malagapo has a question. If you could unmute yourself, please. Does the moderator have to unmute you? Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Our representative from Dubai in the Middle East. Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for this wonderful proceedings. I just want to contribute with regards to the organization of this Mentoring Association of Asia. First is that we should use the so-called strategic management approach. Can we use this first as the vision and mission of this association, and then go through the objective, then the goals and strategies, in order for us to be systematic?
Yes.
I can help you on that.
Perfect.
Because that's my field.
So you should be present in the organizational meeting in January.
All right.
Okay.
No problem. No problem.
We will send the notices to our participants. Thank you. That's
right.
good.
Thank you so much.
Yes. See. All right. Anything more? Okay. So if there are no more things to say, I would like to give the floor to Dr. Pramer for her remarks.
Well, I think that the most important thing is to thank everyone from the voice of the attendees, everyone who came. Even in this room, there's 181 participants. And so we've had a tremendous participation from around the world. And so carrying the voice of the attendees, I want to say thank you to everybody on the International Programming Committee. that has to be said. And then also to all of the attendees who are in the room, all 181 of you, we look forward to hearing from you how we can better meet your needs. So our role is really only to make education better in Asia, and you as the educators in the classroom need to express to us how we can better meet your needs. So you have an important voice in this conversation too. And I would suggest that maybe you use Dr. Gennaro Jappas's online form and let that be a means of communicating and asking for resources. So if you need something, then perhaps, we give you a voice in this professional learning community. And I think that those are the most important things to say. And then to thank all the moderators who have done an amazing job with all of the last minute changes. When you organize something on such short notice, there are so many changes. It's a moving target. And to be able to patiently follow that moving target and get everything implemented took a lot of patience and skill. And you got through it. And I think that was very impressive. And so we have to give great recognition to them. And so those are, I think, the most important things. So, and I'm seeing in the chat box, we must all fill out that feedback form. And so thank you very much.
Okay, so for my concluding part, let me say at this point that the 3D conference is sure a success, but the measure of its genuine success is what happens after the conference. When we still meet together, discuss more issues, and then volunteer ourselves towards something that is larger than our persons, which can last longer than our personal lifetime. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And that's the way to go. So I leave you with two metaphors. One is that we can be like the sun, that whoever catches our rays, their leaves will turn green and they can manufacture food. Okay? And then we can be like the firefly. It has light stored in its wings. But unless the wings are in motion, it cannot produce light. And even if the wings are in motion, if it is not in the middle of the night, we cannot see the majesty of its luminescence. So unless we put our ideas, our heart into motion, we can create something of a better world, something that cannot be done only by politicians, but can be done by simple people who are like us. We are miracle workers today, always, and tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, both four of the co-chairs and the panelists that share ideas and experience about international cooperation. Yeah, cooperation plays an important role for sharing ideas for intertwined relationship between community members. We have the same goal as education, that we can reform education, improve our education in the developing communities. Thank you so much for giving us a lot of experience and knowledge, and then we'll try to grab all of them to share with our colleagues and in our new generation that, yeah, we can go together for a long journey for developing the whole countries and the whole community. Thank you so much. Okay. So actually, participants, your excellencies and honorable guest speakers and scholars on roundtable discussion. So thank you so much. And then I would like to, sorry. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Because of internet unstable, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Um, because of internet connection unstable. I'm so sorry. Okay, so before break time, I would like to inform that participants, please fill out the survey for giving us feedback or comment, to improve our next conference. Yeah, if you have next conference next year, we will improve it, to make it better and better. Okay. So don't forget to fill out the survey for giving us feedback, comment to improve our next conference. Thank you so much. So yes, please have a short break before closing ceremony. Yeah, thank you. Okay, excuse me, participants. So I just want to update information or as well as announcements. So I would like to take this time for giving more information. So please fill out the survey right now during the break time. Yeah. So it's important that you give us feedback or comment. If you don't have any feedback or comments, so we cannot improve our next conference. Cannot make better and better. So please fill out right now. Thank you.
Professor Chan had a request that the principal of the New Generation School speak, and he just entered the room. So Sam Kamsam just entered. And did you want to say anything? There was a request by Professor Chanrath to have him speak, and he's just entered the room. Perhaps not. Okay, so we gave Sam Kamsan the opportunity to speak and make any requests? No, okay, okay. I see that Sam Kamsan's microphone is on, but we don't hear any sound.
Okay, no.
Okay, so I guess we're good. So that's all.
Okay, Dr. Sam Kamsan, we unmute your microphone already. Yeah. Hello, Dr. Sam Kamsan. So we have unmuted your microphone. Okay, please unmute yourself.
Hello, Mr. Sankursan. Yeah, we have unmuted your microphone. Okay, so you can unmute yourself. Okay.
Oh, great. Now it's unmute already. I'm so sorry I cannot catch everything this afternoon because we have many work. So I'm very pleased to join this time.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Since our conference is about to close, so I would like to announce all the participants to remain in our Zoom conference so that we can, end our event successfully. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your time to attend our conference during the 3 days. Hopefully, all the participants have learned a lot from various speakers around the world with different contents, different, research findings and so on. So let's welcome back again. This is the last day of our conference. So we do hope that all the participants have benefited from the content of the presentation and the discussions. We also believe that all the honorable speakers enjoy contributing knowledge, experience, and research findings with participants across the globe, particularly the participants in Cambodia. To close the event, I would like to invite Dr. Sun Somara to present a short report of the 3-day conference. Please welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. Okay, so good afternoon, all professor, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, okay, who participated in this wonderful conference, just based on the Cambodia First International Conference on Mentoring Educator. And now, okay, just my turn to review and report you briefly regarding to our conference that I just ran for 3 days from 21st until today, 23rd, at the end of this part. And regarding to the time frame, since we just have different speakers from different country, like 70 speakers from 17 different countries around the world. That's why our conference conducted from 7 o'clock until 6:30 something at night. Okay, and the other part we can say even our schedule also just to be flexible. That sometimes we just come up with a plenary session, that sometimes we just come up with the parallel session, and so on in here. So, okay, and regarding to this one, we can say, in this conference, we just have divided into 3 main different categories. The first one, we just focus on plenary session. That totally, there are 16 different sessions, that including with the keynote session as well. And the second one, we just focus on parallel session, that there are totally 55 sessions. That in the other special session in parallel session, we just focus on panel discussion about mentoring, that we just conducted privately with our graduated mentor, that they we just want to discuss about what they have done so far during their job after they graduated from NGPRC, and the challenges that they may face during the COVID-19 in here. And one last category that recently finished, that we just focus on roundtable discussion, that we just have 2 different roundtable discussion. That the first one to focus on the international cooperation, and the second one. Okay, the second one we should focus on STEM education. Right? And regarding to the participant in this 3-day conference, that we have learned and observed that in plenary session, okay, all the participants from 160 to 270, and in each parallel session, the average of participant in each session is just from 30 to 70 people that attend in this conference. In the overall overview of this one, we can say it has been managed and run smoothly for 3 days with the full result and new knowledge and experiences. Even though it's just our new experience and our first time to host and run this online conference here, but we still can do it well. We just make it happen. Even we just come up with the complicated with the platform for hosting this conference, that we need to spend day and night. Sometimes we need to have a meeting and discuss with this. And one more challenges that we have done so far, that we just have different time frame and different speaker from different country. That is the most challenges for us in here. But however, to deal with those difficulty and challenges, we have a very good plan that we just have the anticipate with pre-video recording, that even some part that the speaker missed the time slot or something, but we still can do it by playing their pre-recording video. So in this part, we can say we do hope that all the participants have learned a lot and gain a lot of experience from the conference. That we have a chance to learn many things from the experts from around the world, especially about the new skill and new thing that we are talking on our sim, just about mentoring, okay, from the expert from United States and so on in here. And so this part, at the end of this one, okay, I would like to give thanks to all of the sponsors who just support us in this conference to make it happen and run smoothly in here. And the other part, we also would like to thank to all participants that stay tuned with us for all of the 3 days. It might be exhausted as well, but I hope that everyone just enjoy and keep track with us and keep waiting and see our next year conference as well. And the third one, I would like to say thanks to all of the technical team support, as like the technical team from ITC, like Institute of Cambodian Technology, as well as the Ministry of Post and Communication that support us with this hosting, as well as all of the local and international committee, as well as organizer that keep working very hard day and night and make this one happen. It's really all a team moderator that we just have a short time to train, but we still keep it happening here. So that's it for my brief overview of this conference. And thank you very much for your attention and participation with all of it from the first day until now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sansomara, for giving us a short report of the 3-day conference. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Dr. General Japos, a co-chair of CICME, to deliver a closing remark. Please welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon for Asia, good morning for the other parts of the world. In March of this year, I had the privilege of being invited by Dr. Chan Rou to give a 1-week training at the NJPRC. And I stayed with the scholars for 6 days. And I was so moved and impressed of the good things that the formators, the trainers, the international team of trainers helping NJPRC for the leadership of Dr. Chan Rou to succeed. And that was very moving. So when I went back to the Philippines, I thought that they are making a good sense in Cambodia. The world has to know about them, and the world has to support them. In our respective countries, I know we are saddled with centuries-old educational problems. But deep in our heart and inside our mind is that feeling that we want something that is more beautiful than what we actually have. And that is our vision of a more empowering education for all our learners. Because unless they are educated well, they cannot have a better chance at life and a positive contribution to society. And it is along this line that we come here today to affirm that there is such a thing as dreams coming true. And that from our conception of how we can make education better, we can actually create bridges. We can set aside differences of our nationalities and think just as one, global educators who are primarily responsible for making this place a better one. And so mentors are the forces behind these initiatives of teachers and learners. So this is a very, very important one. And if I have to look back at our meetings that start in time from 7 o'clock, even up to 10. All of us are busy, all of us are things are well attended, and everybody contributed. All right. We have independence of thought. We had disagreements because we wanted to agree on something much, much better. And so we came up with this. So I would like to thank the organizer, particularly the head of the team, okay, Dr. Chan Rou, and of course, our mentor from Canada, Dr. Jen Francois, as well as, Dr. Stanislavski of the NJPRC, and our very patient but fast-moving secretary, Dr. Pramer. Plus, of course, our brother from Korea, okay, Dr. Kim, and also Kelly King of Japan. And all of us, it is always the plenary. The attendance is always full every time that we have a meeting because we believe that this is something that makes so much sense. So much sense that we want to see success in our own lifetime. And together that we can do more, that next year is a lot better than what we have today because we already gave our seeds for this day. So I would challenge each one of us to continue supporting a good movement because the unsung heroes of our time, the mentors, are really given the pedestal that they also deserving of our support. So from the bottom of our hearts, collectively we say that united we stand, divided we fall. If we put our heart in conjunction with the mind into mentoring and make it succeed, then no other hindrances can stifle our way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. General Chapos, for your meaningful and wonderful closing remarks to all our participants, as well as the organizing committees, both local and international. Without their efforts, our conference would not happen today. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Professor Chan Ruat and NGPLC managers to offer the conference award. Thank you. Please welcome.